Good morning. So today is January 31st, 2025, Friday morning, about 9 a.m. in the morning. I'm still finishing up my coffee. My coffee cup says, enjoy the little things. Enjoy the little things. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I love these mugs with little messages. Excuse me. It just starts the day with a little bit of positive thought. I love every little moment that we can make little memories with, right? Throughout the day, we have different experiences, and everything can be considered as a miracle. Sorry, my throat. Everything can be considered as a miracle. At the same time, nothing can be a miracle. It's all up to us how we look at things, right? Wayne Dyer once said that when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So today outside, it's a little rainy, kind of drizzling right now, and it's cloudy. However, you can see the sky. It's kind of white, but off-white. You can't see the blue sky today. You can't see the sun. You still see the trees and the dirt down there, our backyard. But there is still some beauty in it. It's different. It's different than a sunny day when there is blue sky. You can see the blue all the way, but it's different. There is beauty in everything. We just have to look at it in a way that there is some beauty in it, right? Also, there are ways we could look at it like, oh, today is kind of dark, but I want it to be sunny. But it's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's just like our life. We have good days, bad days, and it's a cycle. And when we practice these things, we talk about practicing being in the present moment and focusing on the good things that is happening around us can make it bigger. So I will tell you, this morning I spoke to my mom. My mom lives in India, and India is about 8,000 miles. I actually had to Google it. I was curious because I was thinking that I'm going to share this story in today's journaling video this morning. So I actually didn't know it's like with airline miles, it's 8,000 miles. I thought it was like, I don't know, 5,000 or something. So some of you who come here often, you may have heard that I love my mom. She loves me. We have unconditional love, even though we don't see each other in person as often as I would like to. But when I speak to her, I speak to her on the phone, the energy, I feel the energy. Oh my God. I feel so grateful to have that unconditional love from my mom. Right? So in life, there are things that we want, and there are things that we have already right now in our life that we can be grateful for. I spoke to her not too long, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, but the peace, I learned so much about motherhood from her. For my daughter, my daughter, she's going to be 9 this month in February. Exciting. I learned so much from my mom about motherhood. Even though I have not spent any in-person time with her after my daughter was born, that's the thing. That's the energy, how it all connects, you know. She's 8,000 miles away. But so anyway, I share this because you know, whatever we focus on, it grows. Whatever we focus on, that can make us feel good or bad, you know, depending on all the circumstances and everything that's going on around us. And it's not easy, it comes with practice. So just like going to the gym, when you practice working out, you want to lose weight, build muscles, you have to constantly keep working at it. If you go to the gym once a week, you might see the result after 2 years. Now, if you go a few times a week, you might see the result in 6 months, significant results. Now, if you do, I don't know, 5, 6 times a week, in 3 months you will see major difference. I'm not going to talk about physical part much, but in some way, when you go to the gym, even though exercise is only like 20% and 80% is what we eat, how we want to lose weight and whatnot, but when you go to the gym, you're more mindful, so you are kind of eating healthy and eating less because you're thinking, like portion size, because you're thinking that, oh, all the exercise that I had done is of no use. So that's how it kind of helps. But we're not going to talk much about physical health, because in this channel we focus more on how to make ourselves emotionally stronger so that we can face anything in life, right? There are setbacks that happens, and from that setback, how we can come up with the best comeback story. Not for just ourselves, so that the people around us, we can make their life better too, right? On a day-to-day basis, we touch base with so many people, our families, our friends, our communities, and people at work, right? We all have the power to make the world a little bit better. You know, there's always that things will be happening. There is war going on, there is poverty, that some of it we can't do anything about, but there is always something. There's always something we can do, right? We can smile at somebody when we are, not smile at, I think smile to. You guys know English is not my first language, so sometimes that happens, but you know what I mean. You're at a grocery store, you can smile to the person at the counter. You can ask them how they're doing. When you're at a library, you can smile. You can change somebody's day by saying one simple thing. And I'll tell you that, I don't know, it was maybe 6 months ago. I was at the library and I was going inside, and one person, I don't know, she was maybe in her 60s or 70s, and she was coming out of the library, and for some reason that day, I remember I was not having the best day, so I was okay, like, you know, I was not too sad, I was not too happy, it was okay. And she said, oh, I love your shirt. And that was just a little thing, right? One sentence thing. And that just made me feel so good that day, you know? So those little things, and she probably doesn't even remember that she said that, right? And so things like that, like we can do that to other people too. We can say to our friends and families and coworkers, we can make a difference by saying that. But especially people who we don't know. You are standing in a coffee shop on a line. If you compliment somebody with their something, I don't know, I like your earrings, or I like your shirt, whatever, doesn't matter. Like, something not too personal. No, you don't want to do something like when you say something and somebody says that, oh, okay, you're trying to, get a date, unless you're interested in them or something, But the point is, there is always something we can do. There is so much pain and suffering in the world, and everybody has something going on in their life. It doesn't matter, and we are not supposed to compare if somebody has this much pain or somebody has that much pain. Because guess what? The person who has this much pain, and if their life experience limited them to have only this much pain, to them, this seems like this big, right? And it is nobody's fault how or what the life circumstances are for somebody. So understanding that and forgiving them for that can heal us, right? When we don't forgive somebody, we carry that emotion. It's like carrying big rocks on our shoulders. Don't you feel better when it's lighter? You let go of those weight and you can just walk with no heaviness, right? It feels better, right? Try it. And just even the thought of forgiving is a start. Then the shoulder, the rock, it loosens, and that it loosens that grip that have in your shoulder. So try that. That's the beginning. And in this channel, we talk about, divorce recovery. I don't love it in a way that is something light. It is hard. I have been there. I lived that. So it's not that I talk about from just learning from the industry. I lived it myself. And if you're there now, that where everything seems to be dark, know that it can change. It's hard to believe, but when you believe, you're already halfway there. The US President Teddy Roosevelt said that. When you believe, you're already halfway there. He said it a little differently, but that's the meaning. So first you gotta believe that you can go from point A to point B, right? So if your point A is here, all these things are happening right now and I don't like it, these are sad, makes me angry, impatient, all of those challenging emotions, right? And this is point B, where my relationships are great, not only with just family, but family, friends, coworkers, whoever you want to surround yourself with, right? Your relationships are great. You have you're living your dream. You're, filling your bucket, your happiness bucket. And I've covered the happiness bucket thing in many other videos. If you have questions, comment it. I'll explain it. Your happiness bucket, your career, your health, physical and emotional health, both, right? So here you're much happier. And why I say much happier, not happy all the time. Happy all the time is not possible, because then we are not human. Humans are supposed to have emotions, good, bad, ugly, all of it. But the point is, even if you get knocked down from point B to point A even, you'd have the tools and techniques, your own formula to get from here to here very quickly. That's the goal, right? That's the goal. Because if you want to be like here, what's the thing? Like I think they can do some surgery. I don't know. I can't remember where I heard this, or it was just a hypothetical thing that you can remove that emotion thing, and then you are just always like a robot. Then life won't be worth living. It will be like a robot. All right. You want to experience the emotions. And for folks who are strong with their emotions, meaning if you feel deep hurt, very deep hurt and challenges, know that that means you have the capability of feeling deep happiness too. And that's the good part. So if you're in a very sad place and you're like, I can't see my way out of this, you can think of something from your past where, and if you're in your midlife, which most of you are in this channel, and when I say midlife, it's a broad range, right? You can be anywhere, I don't know, from 30 to 70, doesn't matter where. If you consider you're in your midlife, because age is just a number, your age is really how old you feel inside. Literally how old you feel inside. I'm in my 40s, but I think I feel like I'm in like early 30s. That's my age. Anyway, so it's all about from point A to point B as you go. It's learning how you are becoming. So one is becoming, they would say, like from point A to point B. As you go here, you start attracting it. That's another interesting part. Here you are constantly chasing. You're like, I want this, I want this. But from this point, you cannot attract the things that is there. They also talk about, like, it's almost like a TV channel. Here I have my TV here. It's a TV in the bedroom. So TVs have channels, so you have to tune into. So if you are here, I don't know, if you're in a news channel and you are interested in sports, you're like, why is the sports not playing? It is not going to play no matter how much you try. Or if you want to watch a movie or in your news channel, I'm like, I want to watch a movie. Guess what? It's not going to play. You have to change the channel. And you have to know how to change the channel, right? It's simple. I mean, this is a metaphor, of course. You just press a button on your remote and it changes. However, so think of this from news channel to sports channel. You need to know how to get there, because once you figure out that how is your formula, once you figure out that formula, every single time life will put you back in the news channel. And I think news channel is somewhere good metaphor, because generally no good comes out of that. How many people feel good about seeing news? If you watch daily news, let me know in the comments. There is always something that they are trying to provoke the emotions from people, because especially in today's day when there is an information overload, right? There is this TikTok, YouTube, and all the other things that's going on around, the streaming services, there's endless services that are there that you can tune into. So you have to know, and that's the biggest learning, you have to know in life how quickly you can pull yourself from here to here, and that is when the magic happens. Because people who are happy and generally living a good life, it's not that they never feel sad. It's that they live here a lot less than they live here. They figure out a way. And for me, the biggest strength is God. I believe in God. So if you are not into religion, or if you are more like, universe, law of attraction, whatever that works for you, whatever that strong thing or the higher power, whichever way you define it, right? Think of in your life, if you're in your midlife, I can guarantee, even without knowing anything about your life, that you must have had some experience in your life, either you yourself or somebody close to you and your family, friends, where something happened, some event happened, where you knew there was no logical explanation. There is no scientific explanation. And that is what is the higher power, God, or whichever way you want to relate it with your belief system, because we all have different belief systems that gets formed in our first 7-8 years, and then those are hard to break unless big life events happen and things go in a certain way. It stays with us. So whatever your belief system is, but I can guarantee there was something that happened in your life or somebody close to you where you have seen, you could call it miracle, you can call it whatever, but it is some unexplained blessings that happened in your life, right? And that is God. That is God for me. So again, remember that focusing in here, staying in here, from that you cannot get to this. And I talk about this too. You guys have seen I refer this a lot. Thinking, number 1, thinking. Number 2, speaking. Number 3, action. Thinking, speaking, action. They go in a cycle, and you'd see that a lot of people refer it as thinking, feeling, actions. My thought process around it, and I have never heard it from anywhere, but it is a thing that I came up with, and it worked for me, so I share here in this channel that thinking and feeling, I think they work together. You can't really control much of your feeling, can you? Let me know, can you? So the ways, a lot of time, the easiest way to change, one easy way to change is like, you physical movement. However, we can't always do that. Or let's say you're busy at work and if you go to the gym every time you feel good, or you go for a walk, but sometimes we don't have enough time, or whatever that is. Speaking is one of the easiest ways. So you speak from here. The person you want to become, a kind, compassionate person, or whatever that version of you want to be. Excuse me. Oh, it's a little cold. That's why I'm wearing my flannel shirt. So whoever you want to be, a kind, compassionate, loving version of you, you have to imagine that you're already here. What are the things that we will talk about? How will you speak? What are the words that are going to be when you're here? How's your tone going to be? What is your body language going to be? What are the clothes you will be wearing? What are the things you will be tasting? What are the, smell that the places you go to? Do you want to go have Starbucks coffee and then you want to, smell that coffee? And what are you going to do when you're here? Start doing that and you will start attracting. And some things will take time. So I'm going to give you a very personal example from this morning. It's very simple, but it'll kind of give you some idea how practices over time changes things. Our action, right? The thinking, speaking, and action. So this morning, and you guys know this, folks who come here often, that throughout the day, I've been practicing being present in the moment with all my senses a lot. And I even noticed when I go to the bathroom, I even noticed the blue color of the mouthwash. And now it's not something that I have to think about, but it's been like so long that I do it, and that keeps us grounded to the present moment, and that helps not to think about the worries of the future or the sad things from the past. And because in our mind, even though we think 60, 70,000 thoughts a day, it is the 95% of them are the same, and a lot of them are the worries and the sadness. So when we can switch that to the present, even we do the gratitude practice, which is a present, then it helps us to focus, to stay present in this moment. So anyway, this morning when I was getting my coffee, and when I was getting my Keurig coffee, Keurig, the machine takes a little time to get the coffee ready and all that, the machine to be ready, and then you pour the coffee, and I add a little milk and sugar, and then the milk is from the fridge, so it cools down a little bit. Then I heat it up in the microwave, so that whole process takes a few minutes. And then I walk around in the kitchen, and normally I wear slippers, so I remove the slippers and kind of feel the cold in my feet. Normally I'm a person who loves carpet. There's like very few people who love carpet, but I'm one of those. And the cold floor, I just feel it. I soak it in. And that helps me to be present in that moment. And this morning, when I was adding the sugar in my coffee, and then I was using the spoon to stir it, I could hear the sound. You know what I mean? And what I mean by hearing the sound, anybody can hear the sound, but I had some video that was playing on YouTube, sort of like gratitude type of video it was playing. I always play something to listen and learn and grow. That's my thing. And as that was playing, and I was stirring the spoon in my coffee, and I was like, what all sounds am I hearing? And one was the video, and one was the sound of the spoon. And normally those are the things we would never notice, right? We are always thinking the next, the next, the next. But with practice, you won't be here. You will be here. And the in between that path is being in the present, right? So being in the present. And for that, you don't have to be a religious person. You can be present with any kind of practices that you do. It's just you yourself, not thinking from the past, not thinking from the future, thinking about the future, what's going to happen. Things are going to happen the way it is supposed to, right? I wrote this thing down. It was a couple months ago. You guys have seen, I accept this moment just the way it is. I accept this moment just the way it is. And throughout here and there, I say to myself, I believe it, but I say it also. And that's sort of the thinking, speaking, action, because that drives my action too. That I am staying grounded, and everything, all the good, bad, ugly, whatever has happened, I wouldn't change one thing. I won't change one thing, because who I am today, the version that I love, was made because I had all of these experiences from the past, from the day I was born until now. I'm in my 40s. All of that, I haven't changed a thing, because that is what has made me. If I didn't have those experiences, I won't be feeling the way I feel now, right? So this is important. It's important to embrace, and the things that are hurting us, bothering us, if they're the big rocks on the shoulder, if something that you can't forgive, even just wanting to, that, I can't forgive, but I really want to, that's a start. That loosens the rock. And then eventually, you'll figure out ways how to offload it. So you guys know that I have a picture over there. It's a galaxy picture. So that I have it here because I want to remind myself that we are little. I mean, so little, so insignificant in a good way. I'll tell you why I say that. Our planet is less than a dot. When you think of a galaxy, and there are many galaxies, right? So our planet is a speck of dust, or less than that. So in that, we ourselves are even less than that, beyond microscopic, right? If you really look at it from a broader perspective. So when you look at it that way, all our pain and suffering It doesn't completely go away, but it feels less. Whoever is living in this world right now, give it 100 years, 150 years, none of us will be here. We'll all become dirt. So, all the war and sadness and suffering and ego for all of that, like, the wars come from the ego. We can't fix everything, but we can, we can do the things with ourselves. We can work on ourselves so that we are here. We are getting there. Work towards that, and don't focus on the news channel. Focus on what you want. Life can get beautiful. You just have to keep practicing. So if you want to go from Virginia to New York, you have to keep driving on 95 North. At any point, if you get down to 95 South, you will end up in Florida. If you drive west, you may end up in California, and if you drive east, you might end up in Virginia Beach or wherever that leads to. So know your goal, know your point B. It is so important. Know your point B and keep driving towards it. Even if you drive, 5 miles an hour, you're going to reach there. But you got to keep driving towards that. Keep driving towards New York. And if you can go in 50 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, great. These are, of course, metaphors. You guys know I use metaphors a lot. I used to do that at my work too, and it did work. It did work from the point of view, I'll tell you, because in 4 or 5 different organizations, I had the privilege of leading 100 to 200 people for different projects and programs where people from different departments, 7, 8 departments, sometimes came together, like the sales, product, marketing, IT, and everybody's thinking was very different. So now if you want to connect somebody from finance department with somebody in technology, they don't really connect as well. But the metaphor works because metaphor brings it down to a point that everybody can connect with, because an IT person would connect with a very system level programming, whereas the salespeople would connect with the numbers, right? That's what happens, the revenue, the numbers, and gaining more business and retention rate of the customers, whatnot. But anyway, so the metaphor connects. So I kind of formed that habit from my corporate world, which I still use. But yeah, focus on this point B. It could be the very simplest things in your life that you have here in point A, and right now you are not thinking, what are those, that could be a very good start. That what are those things that you even want here, and you just won't even, like for me, it was that thing that when I was in point A, my daughter, my love for my daughter, my mom, and my community, and several other things that I loved. And that's what helped me to get to point B and figure out a formula for myself. And thankfully, with all these experiences and with, how God guided me, I'm here today. I'm helping other people. Who knew that this is what is gonna unfold? And for you too, you never know from here to here who you become, and that can be a very exciting journey. And that actually gives me the excitement of knowing from point B to point C who I will become, right? Who I will become at point C. And there is also a thing called, you can jump the steps. You don't have to necessarily go from point A to point B to point C. You can go from point A, point M. That's possible. Once you figure out the formula for yourself, it's possible. Okay, so I think I'm gonna finish it here. And if simplest thing, if you want to try, one of the simplest thing is the gratitude. You guys have heard probably from many different places. There is scientific research behind it that doing gratitude, especially before you go to bed and right after you get up, is most effective because our brain waves are suited for those. There are many scientific research around it, and one of the key thing is new gratitude, because otherwise, this is a gratitude wall, by the way. I don't know, it was 6 years ago I started implementing at one of my workplaces, and it was interesting. I didn't even know the concept. I started it, and then I had done it in other places. And then last year, January 1st, is when I started this. Anyway, so gratitude, you don't have to write it in a post-it like the way I did, but if you write it down in a notebook, or if you just say it in your mind or speak it out loud, then it's very helpful. Writing it down actually is more helpful. It goes deeper in your mind, in your brain. But even just doing it, just saying it out loud will help you. If not three, just do one new gratitude, and then it becomes a habit every single day. That's like one of the easiest, that's one of the easiest tools to go from point A to point B. There are many techniques, but one of the easiest is practicing the gratitude. Write it down. You will see changes within you, how you look at things. Like I was talking about Wayne Dyer's Wayne Dyer's quotes in the beginning. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. For example, this rainy day, like I was telling you in the beginning, right? Normally in the past, I'll be like, it's a kind of, no sun, and it is kind of, cloudy. But today, I'm like, no, it's different. There is beauty in it too. The trees look a little different. The backyard looks a little different. It's that there's a different kind of beauty in it. And I can hear the little bit of the sound of the drizzle. There's beauty in everything. It all depends on how we look at it. When we are here, the same exact thing we look at differently than when we are here. Because our internal world shifts our perspective on things. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and check out my shorts later in the day. I do have some plan of making several different shorts today, hopefully at the time. There's a lot of things going on, but I do plan on making them today, if not over the weekend. So come back and check. And again, share this channel with anybody if you know who got divorced recently or going through this, because I have known people who have been in this journey for several years, unfortunately, and it has helped them. So I hope you consider to share it with others to hopefully it reduces some of their pain. And again, not for everybody. If they find this channel helpful, hopefully it will help them. But if not, hopefully that will lead them to something else that helps them, right? We all can do little something to reduce their pain. So I have been there. I know how hard it can be. And when you see the bright light, there's nothing like it. Because there's a saying that I forgot how exactly it says, the light, the stars look brightest when there is darkness or something like that. I forgot the saying, but you know what I mean. When you see the stars, like right now we can't even see the stars, right? Because there's enough brightness. But when it's dark night, when you see the stars, they look so bright. And the the morning sun looks so much nicer after a dark night. But sometimes when things are sad, it's hard to even believe that the sun will come out. It seems like it's all going to be dark for a long time. You don't know how long, but it's possible when you see that somebody else have done it, you feel that you can do it too. Anyway, thank you for coming and watching my videos and sharing. And every week I see from the YouTube report, I don't know who shared it, but so many of you have shared. Last week 14 of you have shared, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. And for giving the thumbs up, commenting, engaging with the channel. I really, really appreciate it. On the YouTube homepage, I also have my Instagram that I created. I usually post the shorts there, and sometimes I post pictures with the message. And also my LinkedIn is there if you're interested. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being part of this community that we are building together. And let me know if there is anything else, any other topic I can cover. Comment below and I will try to do my best. Take care. Bye.